What is going on, everybody? It is That Male CNA / That Male Funeral Assistant. So today I wanted to talk to you guys about what has been going on recently in my life. So, as I told you before in my previous update video there, I have got another position as a funeral assistant. So I wanted to talk to you guys a little bit about the ins and outs of that position, what I have done, the types of services I've offered or have assisted on, and what we do altogether, and what I have been doing with the funeral home that I've been working with. It's nice because it's a little bit under the table, so we'll keep it at that. The pay is very good as well for the couple hours that I'm there for each funeral, or whatever type of burial or assistant that I'm doing that day. So for starters, I found the job on Indeed.com. That's a great place, find also scenic travel contracts. Definitely, guys, if you want to check that out, I would go ahead and I highly recommend that. So let's get back to the point. So I gave the guy a call, and it was pretty much the next day that he got back to me. I had the interview. I went out, I bought a suit, the whole get up from Burlington Coat Factory. And that's how that got started. How I got into contact with the guy. I told him that I was a CNA. I have experience dressing, bodies and getting them ready for their aftercare when they're getting ready to be picked up from the facility. By the funeral director or the funeral assistant, because there always has to be a licensed funeral director when picking up a body with a funeral assistant. So that's a little tidbit for you guys. Now, continuing on with what I was saying before, a lot of what I've been doing is assisting on funerals. I've only picked up one body. I can't go into details, unfortunately, of what led to that said person's traveling on to the afterlife, but that is for that's details for another video. The types of assistance I've been giving is really being a pallbearer at these funerals and directing traffic, that type of thing. I can give you guys an example. Today I assisted on a funeral with people of the Jewish background. It was an absolutely beautiful funeral. The company that I work for is absolutely fantastic. I highly recommend them to anybody in the New York State area. He makes accommodations. He's an absolutely fantastic funeral director. I wouldn't want to work for anybody else. Even if I do pursue the funeral director route. That's a topic for another discussion there. But going on, we have been really touching base on what it means to do the job, what it means to perform the job, and what I need to have in my mindset in order in dealing with these situations. So for these funerals, I'm not allowed to have any tattoos or anything like that showing. He prefers that I take my earrings out, just for the professional aspect of things. But I got a beard looking like a Grizzly Adams over here. So getting into it, the types of funerals that we do, really, they range. We do a side-by-side, which is we're there for the minister or whoever is doing the service itself, such as a rabbi or something like that, for the different types of cultural backgrounds, such as Catholic or Jewish, wherever he accommodates to whatever type of religious preference these people have or what they're practicing. He's very open about that. It's definitely opened my mind into the how you have to be culturally adroit to be able to fit into these backgrounds. We just sit to the side and let the family have their last moments with the casket. We take it. It all depends on what type of a service that these people select. They really don't bother too much with us, and they have like a different type of preference when it comes to whatever the celebration is that is being held at that time for the person who is passing. Now, what I mean by that is the families are obviously the ones that are taking care of the bodies when it comes to their preference for how they're being buried. And by that I mean, of course, the funeral director are the people that are actually taking care of the bodies, all the afterlife care services and all that good stuff. So they really, it depends all on what they want to have done for them. So we really don't, I really don't get to know what type of a funeral is until the day of. My attire is always a suit and tie, practically, except for body pickups. He gave us like a special polo and stuff like that. I work for him for about 1 or 2 times a week, and it all really depends on how much work he has. It could be quiet sometimes, and it could be nonstop. I know during COVID he was very, very busy. I wasn't working for him at the time. I've only been working for the company for about a month now. It really all depends. So getting back into how bodies are prepped, obviously he does like the full dress up, adding the chemicals to the body to make sure that it's ready for the actual funeral, whether it's dressing and all that good stuff, getting the chemicals to get the body presentable, the makeup, whatever he needs to do. That's under the licensed funeral director, whoever owns the home in which, or company that is preparing the body for its journey, to be buried or cremated, whatever it is. Now, let's get into what happens during a Jewish burial. That's what I've primarily been doing. In the area of New York that I'm in, the people are primarily of that cultural background. The families have been absolutely excellent in making sure that their loved ones are taken care of very quickly. They're actually put into I believe it's a pine box. Don't quote me on that. If I'm offending anybody by getting it wrong, I do apologize. So the body is, open in the casket, depending on the circumstances. Sometimes it's closed. I have been into a funeral where it's been a closed casket for, certain reasons. God bless them. But continuing on, the cadavers, they're in the box, they're dressed, the family's looking at them, they get their last look, their last goodbyes, and then, the cars will follow us to whatever the burial site is, or, whatever cemetery is chosen by the family to be buried at most of the time. That these people are of an extended age to where they'll be, buried with a loved one, whether it's a husband who had passed previously, or a wife, or a child, or something like that. These people will be buried next to that loved one, which is absolutely fantastic, in my opinion. So what I do on that is that I'll drive the hearse. Today was actually my first time, which was quite an experience. A lot of these people are, they could be very large processions, or they could be small. There's only about 10 people at the one today for the person that we buried. Got to give to the rabbi. His singing was incredible, and I actually enjoyed the service. It's very hot out in these suits, though, during these funerals, especially during the summer. And it's one thing I've learned. I sweat like I'm not trying to be rude, but a pig quite often. I'm a big guy, so it's a little bit hard to stand in the direct heat. Got to add a little humor to the video sometimes, because most of the time I'm too serious. But back to the point. These services are quite extraordinary. It's been a very eye-opening experience to the different types of backgrounds and cultures. But my second service was for a gentleman. He was a firefighter, so it was quite large. I want to say there's about 100 people there. When the gentleman was being buried, I was actually one of the people who helped to lower the casket into the ground. That was definitely an experience. The guy was very large, so it took about 6 of us to lift the casket, put it onto the straps, get him into place. The priest said the final goodbye, in the church and all that good stuff. Whatever religion you practice. I'm actually I'm actually, I follow, belief system of like Odin and Thor. Some people call it Wiccan or whatever you want to call it, pagan, all that good stuff. So it's definitely nice to be able to be exposed to these different types of services because it opens your eyes a little bit, to what the rest of the world is practicing. So that's definitely nice. I do have to say that some family members can be quite rude to the us funeral assistants, like, oh, you didn't do this one thing right, you left out an initial. I understand professionalism, but we're doing our best to help care for your family member in the afterlife or after their passing. So we're just trying to do our best for you guys. I highly recommend getting some care at a funeral home, whatever religion you're practicing or whatever your family's preference is. But anyways, let's go into the people who are Catholic. I've explained a little bit about what happens during a Jewish background when it comes to burials and stuff like that. I can touch base a little bit more about that in a later video, about what religions I've been exposed to and what actually happens during the service. I'm just giving you guys a little bit of an introspective today about what I've been doing with the funeral home that I've been working with. So anyways, during the Catholic one that I was at, we went to a church, of course. The priest had us, we were walking down the middle of the church. It was me and two other gentlemen with the funeral director, Tyler. And, he gave out, he was giving us orders. It was my first funeral. I was definitely very nervous. You can see that, he told me to relax, chill out, you'll be okay, and everything was great. So I gotta say that, you definitely start opening your eyes a little bit more and having a little bit more self-confidence in what you're doing. So that's great. It's definitely an eye-opening experience. So anyways, the priest sung whatever hymns or whatever prayers they were saying for the person who had passed. And, the rest of the family was there. We buried the body. It was definitely a sad experience. I helped lower that body into the ground. The gentleman was a firefighter, like I had said before, so it was quite a large amount of people there. It was definitely an eye-opening experience. This has been a little bit of a fresh new start for me, as I like to say. It helps me bring in a little bit of extra money, for the gas tank and stuff like that. But, I'm just touching base on what I've been doing. Tyler has told me that he'll take me to the background and show me how the actual prep is done, all that good stuff, under his watchful eye. I'll be watching him how he does it. I won't be doing any of that stuff until I go to school, if I'm going to be going that route. But yeah, I just wanted to give you guys a little bit of experience. The funerals I've attended with Tyler and the rest of the crew there, and give you guys a little bit of an introspective on what it's like to be a funeral assistant and what we do. I will be definitely making a lot more videos on the different types of services that I attend and the different types of funerals, but I think I've pretty much touched base on what it's like and what it's been like so far, and I hope that you guys continue to enjoy and watch the content. Right now I'm about 75 subscribers. I would really like to get that number up to 100 before the year's end, but we'll see. It's take things nice and slow. I haven't been uploading as much as I would like to, but things are, quite busy for me. I've got the CNA job. I'm doing 3 agencies right now, and this is another side hustle for me. And yeah, so life is busy. I will definitely try and make better quality videos going on. Excuse me, you'll have to excuse me. I have the camera being held by like a little latch thing here. But anyways, I definitely hope that you guys tune in for more and what the experience is like in the ride. So this is That Male CNA signing out / funeral assistant. All right, guys, thanks for tuning in. See you in the next video.